So thank you. Good noon, everyone, and welcome to 2Q FY22 earnings call of United Drilling Tools Limited. The management is represented by Mr. Pramod Kumar Gupta, the Managing Director, Mr. Kanal Gupta, Director, and Mr. Mukesh Mehta, Chief Financial Officer. I'll now hand over the call to Mr. Kanal Gupta for his initial remarks, post which we will open the floor for Q&A. And so over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta. I am Dr. Kanal Gupta. I am the Executive Director of United Drilling Tools Limited. I would like to ask Mr. Mehta to give the to talk about our quarterly results for September 2021. Please, Mr. Mehta. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I am Mukesh Mehta, CFO of United Drilling Tools Limited. And hi everyone. So in this quarter we have achieved a turnover of 48 CR, which is 52% higher than the turnover of June quarter, which was 31 CR. And the PAT, our PAT is 15 CR after tax, which is 31% of the total revenue. And our total expenses, excluding interest and depreciation, is 25 CR, leaving the EBITDA of 22 CR, which is 47% of our total revenue. Our depreciation cost is 68 lakh 50,000, and finance cost is 16 lakh. And our profit before tax is 21 CR, which is 45% of total revenue. So we have maintained the status of debt-free company. We have not utilized any cash trade limit or pre-shipment or post-shipment. So, and our debtors are, as on 30th September, 61 CR, and part of it we have already received in November, and the remaining will be realized in this month. So anything on this which you want to ask, we can reply to it.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Mr. Viral, if the investors would like to ask questions, we are more than willing to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We now open floor for Q&As. If anyone has question, please raise your hand, or alternatively, you can send questions via chat as well. Sir, we'll wait for 2 minutes. Mr. Manav, you can go ahead with your question.
Yes, thank you. Am I audible first of all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Sir, gentlemen, I have few questions. First of all, if you could tell us about what is the order book that you are having, because I believe in Q1 press release you had mentioned that you have around 80 crores of orders, and then you had bidded for approximately 100 crores of further orders, of which I think you were saying that you will have around 48% kind of a conversion ratio. And then I believe in Q1 you received one large order from ONGC of 125 crores. So if you can explain what is the current order book that you have in hand, and the orders for which you have made the submission.
We currently have around approximately 40 crores of right now in our order book already, and we have already bid for around 225 crores till date, which we are hoping that in the coming months they will get materialized.
So that ONGC order of 125 crores still not there, confirmed?
No, it is going on right now. The valuation is going on.
Okay, fair enough. My second question would be, sir, that in your annual report, there is an 80 crore rupees that you have shown as the foreign currency spent. If you can explain that amount, because in FY20 that amount was just 22 crore and 80 crores of expenditure, I just cannot figure out anywhere if I look at either your P&L or your balance sheet. So if you can explain that where that 80 crores was spent.
Can
80 crore was spent in different heads, like some tour expenses and mainly purchases made from the foreign suppliers. That was exceptionally high. Otherwise, the normal import material is around 20 CR.
So, sir, last year you had a total raw material of around 80 crore. You had employee expenses of 13 crore, which I believe you would have paid domestically only. And then on top of that, you had total other expenditure of 11 CR. So if I just include raw material and your other expenses, it comes to 90 crore. So you are saying that all this money was basically paid in foreign currency?
Actually, we receive the collections in USD. So there is no risk of foreign currency. So out of our EFC account, we are making the payment towards foreign suppliers.
No, sir, I understand that. What I'm asking is that, so you had a 22 crore total spent in FY20. That jumped to 80 crores in FY21. So all that is going to raw material, or is it going to somewhere else?
Mainly from raw materials.
So that means nothing was procured domestically?
Yes, domestically also we purchase the material.
Yeah, Mehtaji, if I can reply that, I think we have purchased the material from Wealth local company, but we have paid in US dollars. You're talking 80 crores in
Sir, foreign currency spent.
Yes, foreign currency, because we had procured the pipes from one of the pipe mills, and those were the terms of the contract that we will pay them in foreign currency.
Okay, fair enough, sir. Sir, my next question is that so you have approximately 31 crores of fixed deposit, which I mean, for some reason is shown as actually other financial assets. So if you can explain this rationale, because you have been showing FDs as other financial assets for last 7 years of annual report. So any specific reason to do the same?
Mehta, you want to reply that, or should I?
I will reply. The fixed asset FDRs which are due for more than 1 year are shown as financial assets. Otherwise, these are appearing in the cash and cash equivalents.
Okay, sir. I disagree with you, but anyways, maybe I will take that question slightly later. Sir, on the liability side, you had some 6.7 crores of advances from customers in FY21, which jumped from 2.9 in FY20. So, like in Q1 call, you had mentioned that you have started to get orders from outside India. So this is the advance money that you get against the export orders, or you are in fact getting advances from the domestic customers as well?
From the domestic customers, we get some advance and balance amount under LC at site.
Okay.
And from foreign vendors also, foreign customers, we are also receiving the advance amount.
Sure. So, Mr. Gupta, if you can explain, like the way in Q1 call you had mentioned that in few years from now, exports would be contributing close to, I believe 30 to 40% of your total top line. So over there, what kind of advances can we expect from customers compared to the domestic orders for which you bid?
Well, this is difficult to say because some of the customers, they pay us advance, and from some of the customers we supply against letter of credit. So it depends from product to product and customer to customer. But I will guess that about 20%, 20 to 25% of our sales will be against advance, and the balance against LCs. Some maybe for some large customers, we may have to also supply against credit the material.
Sure. My last question before I come back in the queue is that, sir, in your annual report plus in Q4 result, there was so you mentioned about acquiring a promoter company which named as Messrs P. Mittal, which I believe it close to sales of around 12-13, I believe close to 11 lakh rupees in FY21. You paid around 12 to 13 lakhs to acquire that company. But in that company, the parent, the United Drilling, has given around 11 crores of loans. If you can explain what these loans are for, and what is the nature of that business?
Let me reply that. Primarily, you see, the loans have been given to this company to build, to acquire the land and the building and the machinery, in SEZ area, because there are very few SEZ areas in northern India. Actually, Noida is the only area where there is SEZ area where engineering industries can supply the material from. So primarily those funds which has been given to P. Mittal are for land, plant and machinery. And this gives us a huge opportunity because we are going in exports, because there are obvious benefits of having a plant and machinery in SEZ area, because you have tax benefits and you have, excise duty benefits in that.
But Mr. Gupta, correct me if I'm wrong. The land that you require for the upcoming project in Mundra, that I believe has already been acquired. As per Q1 call, the construction has already started. So why to give money now?
Well, the land in Mundra is not in SEZ area. It is in the normal domestic area. So, as we had stated that last year, Government of India had come up with a policy that tenders less than 200 crores will be supplied in Indian rupees. So for that purpose, we had to, immediately start getting the land. Plus, for our future expansions, we are planning to, increase our turnover up to 600 crore rupees in next 3 to 4 years. So we have acquired that land.
But sir, from your existing 4 plants, 2 that you have in Noida, 1 that you have in Mundra, and from this Kandla, these 4 plants are sufficient to do 600 crores of top line. So the money that has been given to P. Mittal, you are acquiring 1 more land, fresh land, to put up new plant? Or sorry, I'm still not clear. What is that? So what is this SEZ land is all about?
Well, actually, this money has already been given, and the plant is ready in P. Mittal. The land was acquired about 4 or 5 years ago, and then plant is all constructed and ready to go. So, and some of the work is being already done in P Mittal. P Mittal is already working, on some of the projects for United Drilling. So it's not that we have given the money now. It has been given in trenches, and the land, building, and the plant is all completed.
So that means this becomes the 5th plant for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. And since you're saying that that the plant is now ready, and your Mundra, sorry, as far as your Kandla plant is concerned, that anyways will take time to come up. 1 year for construction and another 1 year to get the approval. So, what is the sales that we can expect from this 5th plant?
Well, actually, you see, for doing the total turnover of 600 crores, it's difficult to divide the sales between the plants because we have, various products, and then there are sub products, that which product we will be doing from where and how much sales will be generated. But overall, our capacity, once we get the Mundra plant ready, and this one will be around 600 crores.
But Mr. Gupta, this is actually contrary to what you had mentioned in quarterly call, because what you mentioned that from a current capacity of 3 plants, you can do 300 to 350 crores sales, and from Mundra another 300 crores. So 4 plants put together were expected to do close to 600 crores, and now this 5th plant which is already ready. You are saying that now 5 plants will do put together 600 crores?
Well, you see, these are approximations, I'm not saying that it should be 6. I mean, we cannot put a exact figure for the revenues from these plants. It could be 700 crore, it could be 650 crores. The revenues depends upon lot of other things also. But yes, all these plants will give us enough capacity so that we can, easily execute the orders from exports.
Sure. Now, sir, in quarterly call, you had mentioned that you can do approximately 200 crore kind of a top line in this year. You have done 80 crores in H1. You have 40 crores of order book on hand. So from where this 80 crores of confidence coming that yes, you will be able to hit 200 crores top line in this year?
Well, you see, like Mr. Kanal Gupta has stated that we have submitted bids, of approximately 200 crores, and we are very sure of getting orders against those and execute them in this year.
Okay. And if you can also provide us some visibility about FY23, that'd be helpful, sir.
I think we should be doing about 300 crore, in FY23.
And what part of that could come from exports, sir?
We are very hopeful that we should at least be doing around 20%, 25%, from exports.
That means you're still expecting close to 250 crores kind of a number, maybe around, let's say 220, 230 kind of a number from the domestic market?
Yes, please.
Sure. Sir, thank you, sir. Maybe I'll come back in the queue. Thank you very much. All the best.
Okay, thank you.
The next question is from Mr. Rajesh Kumar. Sir, please unmute your line and go ahead with your question.
Your voice is not clear, please. Can you please?
The next question is from Mr. Rajesh Kumar. Sir, please unmute your line and go ahead with your question.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Well, it's not clear. The voice is not clear, please.
Is it better now, sir?
Yeah, it is now.
Okay. So, good morning. Belated happy Deepavali to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sir, the other participant has asked almost all the questions. So I have one or two left over. Sir, I just want to, know that you have given a very ambitious target of expanding export revenues from the current 7% to, 30 to 35% in the next 3 to 4 years. And also we are putting up a new plant in Mundra. So this shows that the confidence the management has, in demand of their products. So what I want to know is, my first question is, sir, how much of our sales are dependent on the crude oil price?
Well, see, our domestic sales are all not very much dependent on crude oil prices, because as we have stated before, that India produces only 17% of their crude oil requirement, and so we have to drill for more and more oil. So that will still be there whether crude oil prices are $80 or $30. And it costs to Indian companies to drill for oil, I think it costs around $30 a barrel. So if it goes down lesser than $30 a barrel, then there may be some impact, but still it will be very minimal, because the government oil companies will still keep on drilling, because we want to be self-sufficient in oil production. So that is number one. Now, with regard to export sales, yes, there is certain amount of dependent on the crude oil prices. So, but I will say that must be if the prices are up, the drilling is more and the requirement of our products is more. And if the prices are less, then the requirement goes down. So it should have some impact, around 15 to 20% if the prices are down. If they are less than $40 or $30 a barrel. But the market is so huge, for export, that we are, still in a very safe region.
Sir, you have just given the target of around 200 crores for the current year and 300 crores for the next financial year. See, I know it depends on how much orders you won for the inquiries that you have already sent. What I want to know is there any benchmark, like what you say, target crude oil price you have kept that it should be minimum this much so that we can expect to do this much of revenues?
I think if the crude oil prices are even up to $30 a barrel, we should be able to do 200 crores a year this year.
Okay, that is very good to know that, sir. Sir, my second question is, I think ONGC is one of the India's biggest crude oil supplier. So how much of our sales comes from this company?
Well, I have to check the numbers, but I think it is around 50%, 50 to 55% of the sales comes from ONGC.
Okay, 50 to 55%.
Yes, please. Yeah, this is my estimate, I'm telling.
So it would be minimum 50% of the total sales, minimum.
Right. Yes, please.
Okay. Sir, now this, you said PM had announced, less than 200 crores of orders, will have to be given to the domestic companies only.
Yeah, tenders.
All the tenders by these, oil sector PSUs.
Right.
So my question is, by this announcement, what would be the increase in potential for our company? Like, let's say earlier we could have bid for, or the chance of winning the order was, let's say 500 crores. Now, has it become 100,000 crores or something like that?
Yes, our chances have increased substantially by this announcement for some of our products, or most of our products actually, because the international competition is not there.
Okay.
And so we should be doing, very, very well in this year.
But any ballpark figure ki how big it is, the potential has become?
I would say around, we were doing quite well, as a matter of fact, before also. We were competing quite nicely with international companies. So, but this should really give at least 15 to 20%, increase in our revenues because of that.
Okay. Sir, in this, see, few of the products, we are the only manufacturers in India.
Yes, please.
Like connectors and other products.
Right.
So my question is, one, why not other companies can't enter into this segment?
The main, you want to Kanal say that?
Okay, I'll still ask you the follow-up one later. No problem. You can go ahead, sir.
Mr. Kumar, the reason many other companies are not able to come is because the criticality and the precision work that is required to manufacture and supply these connectors and winches and stabilizers is very important. And for a new party to come, first they have to establish their own manufacturing plant. Then they have to get the required API licenses. Then they have to go for a factory visit, a development order. Then once the development order has been successfully trial run, then they will come for the tendering or they will compete in the tendering process. So this whole overall time frame takes any party around 5 to 7 years. Now, because it is a very critical and precision job, not many companies are easily comfortable. And when I say companies, I mean E&P companies, comfortable in getting new players. Because the life of the whole well is dependent on that.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, my reason for asking this question is, now for these products where we are the only manufacturer, for a PSU, the normal tradition is you need to have more than one bidder for any supplies, for any tender inquiry. Now, for products where we are the only manufacturer in India, and if the tender amount is less than 200 crores, so only United Drilling Tools can only participate in the tender. So will they award the tender to the company, irrespective of the price?
There is always, price justifications, and they have to also ensure that no party does excessive pricing. But if there is reasonable prices, then orders will be given to the single parties, even if there is a single bidder in the tender.
Okay, that is very good to know, sir. That is very good to know. And my last question is, sir, there is small clarification I wanted. See, as on Q4 FY21, the pending order was 80 crores. That is what given in the press release. So in the release also, it was given the product wise, few orders. So if you put all together, whatever the order, it was coming to only 25 crores. So my question is, what was the balance order for this, of this 80 crores?
Mr. Kumar, we'll have to check that out. I think it should tally. There may be some mistake or something might have been left out.
Okay.
So we'll send you the information later on. Please note this down. Huh?
No problem, sir. The follow-up on this was, I think connectors had pending orders of worth only around 5 crores. Sir, I just want to know how much sales we do in this product in a year.
Well, it depends actually. You see, from year to year or quarter to quarter, sometimes we get quite large number of orders for connectors, and some years we get, casing pipe with connectors. So it is very difficult to say. Like in this year, the first quarter, most of our orders were for connectors, and in the second quarter, we have supplied mostly, casing pipe with connectors.
So it is both, connectors alone as well as casing pipes with connectors also.
Yes, please.
Okay, sir, fair enough. Sir, why I was asking this question is, see, you have given a very ambitious target for this year and next year. So which products will drive this growth for the company, sir?
Well, it's difficult to say, but I think probably mostly it will be casing pipes with connectors.
Okay. Sir, we have a very enviable, operating profit margin and net profit margin for any companies in India, where operating margin is more than 30% or near to that. So with the increase in sales, are you confident that you will be able to maintain that?
Well, we are hoping for that, but nobody can say 100% that. And but we are usually in our product line the profit margins are 25 to 30%. So we are hoping that the same will still be there.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mr. Saket Kapoor. Mr. Kapoor, please unmute your line and go ahead.
Yeah, namaskar, sir, and thank you for this opportunity. Sir, firstly, about the product profile. So, in the casing pipe segment, what portion of our revenue is from the casing pipe, and here also we have any USP when I think so. There are other manufacturers also in the casing pipe segment. So, is it a club type, माने जिसमें ये ancillary की तरह लगता है कि casing pipe and आपके tools एक संग configure करके supply किया जाते हैं?
Kanal, I should answer that? Huh?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, actually, casing pipe with connectors, in that product, there is a pipe, casing pipe, and then there are connectors. These are two different products, and they get welded together, and then it becomes casing pipe with connectors. Now, we buy casing pipes from pipe mills. There are about 3 pipe mills in India from whom we buy those. And connectors we manufacture ourselves. And both of them constitute around 50% of the total value of the product. So, does that answer or am I missing something?
No, sir. I get your point. But what the very small point is that when we look at your top line of say 48 crore for this quarter, the raw material constitute 31 crore. That is a very significant percentage of it goes into the raw material part. And out of that also, you are sourcing the raw material from an ex party and then creating these kinds of margins. So, sir, are the technologies the only entry barrier that due to which we are able to generate these kinds of margins? So since it is the raw material is also sourced from outside, it is not that we have that in-house integration with us. So on a 48 crore top line, we have raw material consumption of 31 crore. That is a significant percentage if we take as a percentage of sales, around 65%, 64.5%.
Right. Yes, it is technology driven, products. And like Kanal said, it is technology driven and high precision and critical items. So, some of our products, there is no one even now. We are the only one. But with casing pipe with connectors, there are other players also. But they have to buy the connectors from us if they want to supply to to the oil companies.
Sir, when you speak of the increase in turnover, this year guidance of 200, next year of 300, and even going ahead with the new plant, if I am not mistaken, turnover of 600 crores, say 2 years down the line. What are the
3 to 4 years actually.
Okay, thank you for correcting me. 3 to 4 years down the line. So what are the factors on the premise of which you are seeing this trajectory getting into a reality? So what factors and your dependence on one single customer ONGC at 50%? So when you will be doing a top line of say 600 crore, what kind of dependence will it come down to, sir? Any ballpark number if you could share, sir? And yes, please complete, sir. Then I'll come.
Actually, we are doing several things, in the company. We are introducing new products in our company, which will increase our revenues. Then we are now going in the international market, which we were not doing before because of our tie-up and collaboration agreements, which were restricting us to go outside India. So those things are not there with us, and these combined together we are very hopeful that we will achieve those targets, because the international market is very big, and the other products which we are getting into, they are also their requirement is also quite good in India as well as overseas.
Sir, can you dwell more, sir? What were the limitations on us, and what is the market size which will be catering both these restrictions of collaboration with our partners expire?
Well, it has already expired in 2019. We had a collaboration agreement that we can only sell to Indian oil companies only, these products. So after that, actually COVID came, and so everybody got slowed down, and now the COVID is not there, so we are expanding and supplying to various countries around the world, and now we are getting development orders, and slowly we are going to get regular orders from these companies. So and the international market is somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000 crores. So that market is so huge, we are targeting only 5 to 10% of that market. The second thing is that we are trying to introduce new products. It is still in R&D phase, but that will give us an access of at least 300 to 400 crores of Indian market also. So combining those together, we are very hopeful that we'll achieve our targets.
So firstly, you told the addressable market for the products overseas is around 6,000 crores. And we are eyeing a market share of size of only 5% there. So these are the ones same which we are selling today domestically, or the product profile is very different. If you could throw some light on the same.
Well, yeah, the international market, when we are talking, the profile is the same product profile, but for the Indian market, what I am saying now, these are other products, different products, slightly.
But they will be in the same line of items related to the oil and gas.
Oh yeah.
And the same connector auxiliary only, or it's different? So if we take the entire ecosystem of the drilling of oil and the transportation, where do our company and its components stand in that, from the site of drilling to the output being transferred to the place? Yeah, हम लोग कहाँ सर अपना role play करते हैं? If you could dwell, and where are we expecting?
Primarily, our products are used primarily for exploration and the production of the crude oil. So when they are trying to explore new wells and they drill new wells there, and also when the well is already ready and the production is taking place. So at both places, our products are used.
Okay. So this has the entire dependency on the rigs also, the way the rigs are deployed on a daily basis charter. It is when the output begins, then and at that time only our components are made to use.
So usually all of these big companies, they have a yearly planning which they do. So
Right.
whatever planning they will do, they will have to do it 1 year in advance. And so they have to get all the material beforehand when they will use it. So the process starts way before when the actual product is used, where the rig comes to use it.
So last line come again, sir. I missed it. When the rig.
When the rig actually comes to drill the well or to use the at the well site,
Yes, sir.
the material is procured way in advance so that the rig is not standing idle.
Okay.
So this whole process is done, planned before, and the procurement is done way before when the actual drilling or the process starts.
Okay. Okay. So it is in connection with the deployment of rigs. As and when the rigs are deployed, this component which we are manufacturing are also their demand also keeps on a continuous basis.
That also, and plus also the overall planning of the company, that how many wells they have to drill in a year and how much of production of crude oil they have to do.
Colonel, let me clarify this question. Yes, what you're saying, that our products are used when the oil wells are actually drilled, some of the products, and some of the products are used when the oil is being produced from the wells.
Okay. So these and yes, sir, please continue.
No, so it is not that after the well starts producing the oil, then our products are used. They are used when it is being drilled.
Yes, that means during the process of drilling and also for the transportation of the same, oil and gas both.
Well, not so much for transportation, It's mostly when it is being drilled, or you see, firstly an oil well is drilled and then the oil is produced. These are two different, areas.
Okay.
Drilling and producing of oil. So our products are used both while drilling and while producing from the oil well, the crude oil.
Okay, sir. And sir, if I come to one more point, when we take the seamless pipe and the casing pipe differentiation, where do the applications stand, sir? Since our products are used in both the drilling as well as the production, and if you could just differentiate also, at the time of production of oil, what is the role of our component? If you could, I'm missing that connecting point. Although you said that it is drilling and production are different, so if you could kindly dwell more. And sir, for the press release part also, sir, I could not find our presentation on the BSc website. So if that could be.
Well, should I explain drilling and production both, or only the production end?
So if you could explain, if there are other speakers in the line, I will come later on. In the interest of time, whatever is feasible.
Okay. Well, see, for production, two of our products are used in production of oil. One is gas lift valves, and the other is wireline winches. So both of them are used while oil is being produced. Gas lift valves are used. They help in raising the level of oil from the oil reservoir so that oil comes up the surface and pushes to the storage tanks. And wireline winches are used to install these gas lift valves in the oil well. So those are used by the production people who are producing for the oil. And casing pipes and stabilizers are used while drilling the oil.
Right. Correct, sir. And last point is, yes, sir, I can see now the the same being displayed, I'll request that if it can be uploaded at the BSC site, we can I can get it done, downloaded from there. So the point is that you are telling that your order book currently is 40 crore, and you have bid for 200 crores of the order pipeline. That is, is it the L1, sir, of 200, or it is the total bid book?
No, it is a total bid book.
Okay, and out of that, sir, what is the ONGC proportion?
It's around 60% of that.
60% of. Okay, and in that case, sir, there are many products where we are the only supplier in the country, and now with the advantage of the foreign players not participating in below 200 crore tender, so there are what portion of the total bid book is confirmed orders, if all technical grounds are met?
See, we have still bid the tenders. So, we just cannot say what is the confirmed orders at this stage. But based on the past experience, we are very hopeful of getting reasonable size of orders from the tenders which we have bid.
Correct. Sir, I'll come in the queue, and sir, looking forward for more interactions.
Sure.
Going
Thank you.
Thank you for that, sir, explanation also, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. Next question is from Mr. Pritesh Chheda. So please unmute your line and go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, my question pertains to two areas. One, on the domestic business side. So once with this regulation change of the 200 crore and below orders. So first of all, the domestic market, was it about 300 odd crore in size, in which we had a 50-60% market share, and now that size, the entire 300 crore becomes an opportunity for us. So is that correct? Is that calculation correct, or I'm doing any error here?
Well, this is partly correct actually, because out of this 300 crores, whatever is the requirement of national oil companies like ONGC and Oil India, this restriction is on them. But there are private players also. They can still import, some of these items. But we are getting, better chances to supply to them.
Okay. So this business, which used to be about, let's say, 120, 130 crore for us.
Yes.
Right. This business, where do you head seeing it moving towards in 22 and 23?
You
so
mean
we did about 100 domestic.
Revenue?
Yeah. So revenue domestic.
Well, we are very hopeful that we should be getting, around 60% of this business,
So that's about 170, 180.
Yes, please.
So which means the full number for the oil PSUs, right? Out of 300 crores, oil PSUs would be a certain number.
Right.
So you'll have a much higher market share in the oil PSUs.
Yes, please.
Right, in your overall calculation.
Right. Yes, please.
Okay. And so my second question is, we have this aspiration on exports, and we have those certain limited set of clients on the other side which we have to crack.
Mm-hmm.
What is the progress there, and the entire export ramp up of yours? Is it purely dependent on your Kandla plant, or it can happen earlier than that? It is purely linked to approvals that you need to get at Kandla plant post construction, or there is a chance to happen earlier than that?
No, there is definitely a chance to happen earlier. We are even now supplying from our existing plants some of the export orders. So Kandla plant is just an extension of that to increase the capacity as and when the orders comes from exports.
Okay. So, how about if you have approval for a certain plant, can that approval work for your Kandla plant, or you need to get your fresh approval for a Kandla plant?
I think it should work for our Kandla plant also, though we have to get a separate API license for our Kandla plant, which is American Petroleum Institute, license. For that, we'll have to apply for that and get it.
Okay. And what is the progress on your clients? How far have we reached in our discussion, negotiation, sizes of the orders in terms of discussion with, let's say, Halliburton or Schlumberger or any of them which you were referring in earlier calls? What is the progress that you are seeing?
Anand, you want to reply this or I? Actually, we have, we have been doing quite well. We have, I think in our last, this meeting, we had explained that we are made presence now in 16 plus countries around the world. And so we are supplying now, we have supplied already around 5 to 6 crore rupees worth of development orders to various companies in these countries, or we are in the process of that. And we have supplied some of the, now we are on the supplier list of some of the big service companies like Halliburton and Schlumberger. So we are making progress, and it may take still another 1 year before we are on their approved vendor list, where we can just supply them their regular orders. Once we reach to that level, then we will really see a reasonable size of jump in our revenues and profits.
So what will move the 200 crore revenue to 300 crore next year?
It will be, like I have said, that we are introducing some new products. So partly may come from that and partly from exports.
Other than Schlumberger and let's say...
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because then you said it is taking another year, right?
Yes, please. It may take 1 year. I'm just generally speaking about it. We are still getting orders from Halliburton and Schlumberger both, for some of our products.
Okay. This was helpful, sir. And when is the Kandla plant getting operational?
It will take a year right now to do that. We are getting the necessary approvals, and then it will take a year for the overall construction to happen.
Okay. So basically it becomes operational at the end of next year, that is FY23, right?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. And so from now until then, to achieve the 300 crore revenue, we have to use the existing plants, right?
Yeah. And we do have that capacity in our existing plants.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, that was the last question for this session. Over to the management for their closing remarks.
I would like to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to tell about us and to answer the various questions. If there are any questions that are left unanswered, please feel free to contact Mr. Mehta and we will get back to you. Thank you, Ambit Capital, for arranging this. Thank you so much. CMD sir, if you'd like to say something.
I wish to thank everybody, Ambit Capital and all the participants and we need your support and blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Disconnect.
Thank you.